Our channel is pleased to present to you the special episode airing on Tuesday, June 17th, a dark, breathtaking and shocking chapter of the movie Beyond the Gates. Hidden Secrets. Conflicting decisions between reason and emotion, and irrevocable confessions will completely change the fate of the characters in this story. Let's step into the deep tragedy of their souls. Where love, lies, illusions and sacrifices intertwine in a maze with no way out. Vanessa stands on the threshold of an inevitable trade-off. She has long lived in the gray area between her personal desires and her responsibility to the man she once loved, Doug. But now, when all the choices are pushing her into a corner, Vanessa is forced to make a decision, to live a life that is her own or to give up herself for Doug. In recent months, Doug has become cold, distant, a shadow of his former self. Deeply wounded by an event that Vanessa cannot reach. She sees him struggling with psychological trauma, struggling to live like a shadow, and instead of retreating to protect herself, Vanessa chooses to move forward, accepting what she never thought she would do, give up on herself. The dreams, passions, plans she once cherished, are now extinguished in silence. She sacrificed not because she was weak, but because she believed that sometimes true love is not about holding on to someone but losing yourself to save them. There is a silent rebellion inside her, a suffocating stream of emotions, but her face remains calm, as if she has learned to pretend that everything is okay. Doug does not know that. He thought Vanessa chose him gently, while she was struggling against herself to not let go of everything. In another development, Smitty gradually realized that his friend, Martin, was falling into a more dangerous abyss than anything before. Their conversations became less and less frequent. And when they had the chance to meet, Smitty always saw Martin absent-minded, his eyes lost as if looking into another dimension. He began to say strange things, mentioning people who did not exist, and complaining about noises coming from absolutely silent places. At first, Smitty thought it was just stress, the result of an unhealed shock, but as time went on, those symptoms became more severe. Martin often had panic attacks at night, insomnia, saw vague figures in the mirror, and worse. He began to believe that he was being watched by some invisible force. No one but Smitty knows the severity of his condition, and though Martin has always rejected any suggestion of treatment, Smitty knows he can't stand by. He begins researching psychotic syndromes, seeking out psychiatrists, documenting Martin's behavior, preparing for a forced intervention if necessary. But Martin is not easy to convince. For him, going to a doctor would mean admitting he's crazy, a fear greater than the hallucinations he's struggling with. And so Smitty must walk a thin line between friendship and intervention, hoping that he can stop Martin before he crosses the line of reality and drifts into total darkness. As things spiral into chaos, Danny and Andre face a moment they can't delay, a confession that could destroy everything they've ever held dear. They had lived for too long in a mask, pretending that everything was fine, as if they were not the cause of a tragedy that they both tried to bury under layers of calm. But the truth always found its way back. Danny carried a deep sense of guilt, so heavy that she could not look herself in the mirror every morning. Andre, although he thought he could overcome it, could not avoid the moral torment. They had betrayed their loved ones, had kept a secret that could tear apart the trust of those around them. After many days and nights of discussion and struggle, they chose to let go of the fake shell, chose to face the consequences. In a closed room, with dim lights illuminating every drop of sweat on their foreheads, they confessed everything. Every wrong step, every lie that led to the collapse. There were no screams, no tears, only a crushing silence. They know that after today, things will never be the same. Views will change. Relationships will fall apart. But they speak out anyway, because they can't live if they keep the truth hidden. Vanessa, meanwhile, is fading away. Doug doesn't notice. He's too caught up in his own pain, too lost in his own chaotic world to notice the sacrifice of the woman beside him. Vanessa doesn't complain, doesn't blame, she just lives as a shadow, existing so that Doug won't be completely swept away. Martin, still determined not to seek medical attention, begins to act out of control, talking to the air, reacting violently to loved ones, and gradually locking himself in a dark room where he believes someone is watching him. Smitty, by all means, approaches him cautiously. hoping one day to save Martin before he disappears forever in his own mind. Danny and Andre fall into isolation, friends shunned, family turned their backs on them, they are left with each other. But both know it's not forgiveness but prolonged complicity. But what they don't know is that today's decisions are just the beginning of more terrible consequences to come. Vanessa will face a huge shock when she learns that her sacrifice didn't save Doug, it only pushed him further away from reality. Martin will soon do the undoable, an act that will shock everyone, sending everyone into a spiral of doubt and panic. Danny and Andre will be at the center of a much larger tragedy, because the truth they reveal is just a small part of a much more complex picture of guilt. In the world of Beyond the Gates, there is no easy forgiveness, no happy endings, just people scratching their heads trying to survive amid the consequences they have created. And when the final gate opens, no one knows what awaits on the other side. And the journey is not over yet. The darkest things may still be waiting behind the unopened gate. Stay tuned for more developments in the upcoming episodes of Beyond the Gates. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any dramatic moments. Thank you for joining us.